Hello, this is Warlord 12, and I needed to talk about the problems with Shinobi Striker as a whole. And it's like, I've already talked about the problems with Shinobi Striker, but I need to talk about one of the true main
これ
issues
がしまっ
with this game in general, because people are saying that with all the stuff that got nerfed, right, all the things that got taken away from the game, people are still trying to say that, oh, Shinobi Striker is still fun. Like, Shinobi Striker will never be as fun. It's not as fun. Still is like when there's someone like me who's experienced the problems with Shinobi Striker, like for instance, how bad the game was when it comes to online and how bad it still is online, like getting ganged up on all the stuff, or meta or not meta. I need to say this because people are trying to talk about, oh well, you know, you have a problem because all the meta is getting taken away. It's not about whether the game has meta or not. It's about having balance for your game and also knowing what makes your game fun and what makes your game not fun anymore. Especially when it comes to games like Shinobi Striker. What doesn't make a game like Shinobi Striker fun is taking away the speed from Oboe. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying don't nerf Oboe. I'm saying is they can give you like a new ninjutsu that allows you to move just as fast as Oboe did a long time ago, right? But it just doesn't stop. It just doesn't allow you to stop people's substitutions or what I'm saying, lock a substitution. But it still just allows you to move as freely as you want to. See, that's what was enjoyable about Shinobi Striker is certain things that you could do in the game that made the game fun. Moving at almost FTL or faster than the speed of light, almost like Rock Lee or Sasuke, that was fun. Taking something like that away doesn't make it fun. People are still saying, "Oh, you can still have fun." Like, no, you can't because Bandai is always taking away things from the game that was fun, and it's just boring now. Even it's more boring than what it used to be. Like there's certain things you could do to have fun, but it's just like one of those things. Like it's just not as fun as it used to be. It's just not as fun, right? Or let's say for another example, for certain things that were taken away from Shinobi Striker, like for instance, when range types got nerfed into the ground, that's what made the game not fun as well. Where you had to be like you had to depend on your teammates because some of us were solo players. We don't like trying to rely on people and stuff like that. Why am I bringing this up? Because this is an example of what the problem with gaming is. This is about how what makes games like Overwatch 2 not fun. When
としてやる
this is a good example, especially when we talk about other video games like Pirate Warriors 4. Yes, I know Pirate Warriors have its own fair share of problems. However, there are certain things that makes this game fun when it comes to the freedom that you have in this game. When it comes to movement, things like that, um, movement and combos, right? Certain combos and how you use them. Definitely want to talk more about that, but I want to talk about when I was talking about the main problems with gaming and what makes gaming not fun today for a lot of games out there. Like for instance, you have a game like what's it called? I was talking about Overwatch 2, right? You know what made that game not fun? There's a lot of things, but for the most part, the main thing that made Overwatch 2 not fun is because of when they took away the tools from Doomfist. Doomfist was a fun character. And what did Blizzard decide to do? Instead of actually reworking the character like they should have been doing, they decide, oh, let's just nerf the character because people are complaining. And I was like, you know who was really complaining about Doomfist? People who were too, how should I put it? The, like a lot of people who are complaining about Doomfist were people that are people who play games like Call of Duty or first person shooters. They're complaining because they're not used to playing against a character that's built like a Street Fighter 4 character or a Street Fighter 6 character. They're not used to playing against a Tekken character. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what Doomfist is. The type of character that Doomfist is when he plays him. He's a character that does combos, and people who do play FPS games are not used to playing characters that that can go crazy stupid with combos in your face. They couldn't handle it. That's why a lot of people were getting upset about Doomfist. I mean, yes, you could say that there were some broken things about Doomfist, but it wasn't all that bad like people make it out to be, because there were characters that were broken like Zarya. Like their character, or what about Sigma? But no, they want to go after Doomfist because he's an in-your-face character, and they didn't like that. The fact that he could jump around and then like combo you like he's in a fighting game. They didn't like that. And like I said, it's just like, oh, if it's so broken, like just rework the character and allow him to have his uppercut. And what did the devs for Overwatch 2 do? Decide, oh, let's just take away his uppercut. So really, it's it's also that the devs of it's also for the devs that for Overwatch 2 that they don't know how to balance video games. Obviously, there's no excuse for that because they could hire someone to balance the game if they really wanted to, right? But also, they probably just didn't want to deal with Doomfist. They probably just got lazy with it. Either way, what I'm saying is Doomfist and Shinobi Striker is a perfect example of the problem when it comes to gaming. Every time there's something fun, they always ruin it and mess it up. And I wanted to make sure that I said this because when we talk about gaming and certain changes, and people want to talk about, you know, oh, you could still have fun and all this other nonsense. What I want to say about that is, it's just like Guilty Gear Strive, right? It's like, look at what happened, what they did with Guilty Gear Strive. Look what happened with that game. You know what I'm saying? Because real Guilty Gear, when I talk about Guilty Gear, I'm talking about Guilty Gear XX Accent Core, not that garbage Guilty Gear Strive. You know what I'm saying? And all they made the game slow because they're trying to appeal to, they the best way to put it, like, they listen to people that they shouldn't have listened to in the first place. They listen to a bunch of people that are not Guilty Gear veterans, and that's why that game got messed up like it did. So the game became not really enjoyable like it should have been. Because with Guilty Gear Accent Core, the way that game was, well, it was the peak of Guilty Gear because when it comes to combat and speed, you know what I'm saying, it allowed you to have the freedom of how you would play the game. Like, everyone had their own way of playing the game. You know what I'm saying? Or another example is just like what happened with when it comes to Tekken. Now they try to slow down the combat for, you know, doing, trying to back up or, backdash. So it interferes with people who use Korean backdash. So it's like when it comes to, the company of Bandai, right? It's kind of like what they're doing is they're trying to get people to play the game the way they want people to play the game, not the way you want to play. And that's another thing I'm going to talk about because, you know, for whoever it is, how are you going to tell me or someone else how to play the game or how to play a video game when I play the game however I want to play the video game? You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to, my own trademark fighting style or play style, or, you know what I'm saying? Or, you get what I'm saying? Basically, what I'm saying is, like, how are you going to try and tell someone else how they should play a video game, or how try to force them to play a way that you want them to play? To me, it's just like, oh, okay, I'll go switch over and play a different game if that's the case. But I said also that, see, when you do stuff like that, when you know people had their own way of playing a video game, And then it's not just like, oh, you're just changing everything. You're trying, like I said, it's just like you're trying to like literally narrow it down to where they have to play your way, and it's just like, oh, okay. So what ends up happening for people like me, we'd sit there and say, you know what, that's all right. We'll just make our own video game. Like I said, when I said that I was going to start making my own, getting into trying to make my own video game, I wasn't joking about that. Because stuff like this is the reason why people like me make our own video games in the first place. Because we're tired of stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like other people or game developers think they hold all the cards for every little thing. I'm like, nah, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because when you start doing that stuff, people do their own thing and say, yeah, this is how we're gonna do it. And then what happens is those people who got tired of it, they start making all the money, and then the game developers are all just like, wow, maybe we should have done that. Or, you know what I'm saying, they start thinking, oh, we better go back and change it and do whatever those people are doing. Because, a lot of these game companies, they start doing stuff like that. Anytime other people who, or developers who start making money doing the stuff that the game developers didn't want to do, or put in their game in the first place, all of a sudden they forget their philosophy and say, you know what, let's do what they're doing so we can make money. So it's just like, why change? Why, you know what I'm saying? Why change around your mechanics when you didn't want to do the stuff in the first place? All this stuff you didn't, the way you wanted people to play, you wanted people to play the game the way you wanted to. Then all of a sudden, when people start making money, then you want to change it all of a sudden. It's just like, why don't you just leave it alone in the first place if you're just going to change it again? You get what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? That's all I really need to talk about that when it comes to gaming. I believe there is one other video game that I wanted to bring up. Well, other than that, like, see, look how much freedom I have with this. Look how much freedom I have with this. See, stuff like this is what I'm talking about. No, but I know there's a game I wanted to talk about other than the ones I brought up, like Tekken or Shinobi Striker or Guilty Gear Strive. I think I got all the games that I needed to talk about, right? But that's my thing on what I need to talk about when it comes to what's fun and not fun. But like I said, for the most part, fun or what's not fun, it's not, like I said before, it's not just about people who just do things for meta. Some people do certain things because they enjoy it or it's fun to them. But like I said, when it comes to meta and what matters is that the people who make these games, they need to just balance the game and then just make whatever people are doing, make it fun for them. That's all. Like that's really all you have to do. You know what I'm saying? But I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's your choice on how you want to do something. Cool. And other people are going to go do their own thing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying, I'm sure a lot of you get the point by now. This is Warlord 12, and I'm out.